You couldn't call it punk rock anymore. There were just far too many different styles out there in the early 80s. The music press, whether it was the NME, Melody Maker, or Sounds, would label each new band as they came along. Here's Hugo Burnham, drummer for the Gang of Four.
Music press, specifically in England, has this overwhelming desire to label everything, which is ridiculous proportions at home. I mean, at the moment you're either heavy metal, or you're a ska two-tone band, or you're a skinhead reggae band, or you're part of the sort of grey new wave. One label that we have got is, I mean, they are a political band. Everybody has their own little idea of what a political band actually is and what to them political means. People automatically think, oh, politics, oh God, you know, that's governmental sort of party politics. It's not quite as straightforward as that. I mean, the politics of our music and of our lyrics, which are not separable. I mean, they go hand in hand. You can't disassociate them. They are part and parcel of each other, the music and the lyrics, the politics. Just the politics of daily life, or not so daily life, you know.
Even with all the labels, there were still those who were pleased to be just plain punks. Here's a great example. This new bunch of punks came from Edinburgh, up in Scotland, and they were called the Exploited. That's Army Life by the Exploited. Now, back in punk days, it was easy to write songs about Thatcher, the police, government policy, and being out of work. Even if some of the bands really didn't care about politics, it was an easy way to upset the older generation. But the more creative bands were finding stories for their songs in very unlikely places. In the summer of '80, Susie and the Banshees released a new single called Christine. It was a story of a very unusual girl. Here's Susie and Steve.
It's for real. She's really real.
And she's one of your Native Americans as well. And she's still alive.
She's called Christine Sizemore. And, you know, most people have got 2 or 3 sides to their nature or personality. She ended up having 22.
She was the subject of the film Three Faces of Eve. But that was a very basic version of her real life, which was much more bizarre.
A lot of people that listen to that song think the words and the terms, like the banana split lady and now she's in purple, now she's a turtle, are just psychedelic, acid trip, mumbo jumbo. But the personalities in the song are just some of the personalities that she actually called herself and was known as.
And also the flip side of the single Christine has another 2 of those personalities, Eve White and Eve Black, and that was just an extension of what Christine was about.
Back in America, what was being called the New Wave was involving more and more new bands. One group that was just beginning was Oingo Boingo. Here's lead Boingo, Danny Elfman, talking about the mystic nights of the Oingo Boingo.
Well, what we started out as was not any rock and roll, it was all theater.
What, a comedy troupe?
No, it was more like a, well, we were described as dark, surrealistic cabaret.
Ooh, that sounds heavy. Put you in good with the college crowd, I bet.
It was a very strange audience we had, and actually did quite well out there for a while. It was a lot of fun, but got boring after a while. wanted to start doing rock and roll.
So when you started doing rock and roll, they probably ran away screaming down the hall.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They betrayed us in great numbers and left us playing to 25 people in small bar clubs all over again. But that's what we were expecting. I mean, you know, we knew that we were going to have to start from scratch, and that's what we wanted to do. It took about a year, and then the kids started catching on. And all of a sudden, kids on the floor were sweating as much as we were on stage, and that was a lot of fun.
Then, I mean, was it wham bam, A&M picks you up and you're off on your own?
No,
exactly.
No, that EP, that first EP we did was actually just a demo that we were marketing for about the 10th time. We'd been rejected by everybody, you know. It's like, oh, Oingo Boingo's here with some more tapes. And we went to little tiny IRS, which had no West Coast acts at all, was barely around, and they said, well, we'll release it just as it is, because we don't even have enough money to send you back in the studio and re-record this stuff. And our manager said, ha, you can't do that. You got to wait for the $1 million record deal. So we had a big meeting, we thought about it, and fired the manager and signed with IRS for no money, and it was the best move we ever made.
Things were becoming pretty fun in the early 80s. Music was expanding way past 1, 2, 3, 4, hey ho, let's go. In the summer of 1980, a duo calling themselves Islas and Gaza released a homemade record called Kodak Ghosts Run Amok. Things were getting very interesting indeed.
Eyes blink, still the snapshots, photographic memories, neatly fold, interlink with other better snapshots, pleasant portraits, staying and defiled. Blink again, movement is captured, frozen like mute statuettes, superimposed with half exposure, developed darkness, bleak silhouettes.
Islas and Gaza and Kodak Ghosts Run Amok. In the early 80s, the electric guitar found a new role. Unlike guitars in punk records, which were hard, brash, and biting, this new, sharp, crisp, clean sound was the sound of the times. One of the new groups making use of it was the COMSAT Angels, and they made quite a mark for themselves in England in 1980 and 81. Here's a taste of one of their best, Eye of the Lens.